Okay, it feels weird shouting because it's such a small room, but you all can hear me, right? Everyone good? So the first miracle that I shall do is somehow rewind time because we're supposed to start at 10:01, but we're starting a little bit late. That said, we are going to go through 16. 16? Do I have 16? How many do you have on your list? 15. Maybe I'll pitch at the end. So we have 15 great ideas here. We have 5 very intimidating but also wonderful judges who will progress some of these to the next level. So, kind of like a beauty pageant, I'm going to have them spin around, and instead of telling you how they're going to change the world, they're going to say the fund that they represent, as well as one characteristic of an entrepreneur that they love, something they're looking for that is more than the words that they're saying, something that hopefully will connect and go, yeah, this is a winning idea and a winning team. So first up, we've got Antonius.
Hi, I represent Redalpine, and I really like about founders that determination.
Determination. Kim?
Hi, I'm Kim. I'm from Dieter from Holzspring Ventures. What I like about the founder is that he's able to adapt in new situations.
Nice. Olaf.
Hi, I'm Olaf from Capnamic, and I like that founders never give up.
All right. Maximilian.
All right. Hi, I'm Max from Activant Capital, and I love founders who are relentless.
Relentless. Thomas.
Hey, I'm Thomas. I'm with Cherry, and what I like is that founders have like a very unique insight into what they're doing.
Excellent. Can we give a hand to our wonderful jury, please? So with that, it's really simple. There's a 2-minute pitch over here, 3-minute Q&A. We're going to try to make this as snappy as possible. And so with no further ado, I know that Patrick is already backstage. Please give him an extra applause because he's the first one on the stream. So let's just make him feel extra, extra special. The startup is called SmartBreed. They represent the University of St. Gallen. And so with that, let's welcome Patrick.
Hi everyone, very excited to be here today. My name is Patrick. Oh, how do I start my slides?
Good question.
Oh, perfect. My name is Patrick and I'm co-founder of SmartBreed. SmartBreed enables farmers to produce their own protein for their farm animals directly on their farm. To be more precise, we enable laying hen farmers to produce grasshoppers as animal feed for their laying hens. Laying hens are chickens that are kept for egg production, and there are 2 big problems in that industry. First, the protein for the hens comes from soy, and soy is often being imported from countries like Brazil, where it is one of the main causes of the deforestation of the rainforest. Second, the chickens are bored. And when chickens are bored, they start pecking each other and themselves. And even on organic farms, we have up to 10% mortality rate each year. So this is a very big problem. What is our solution? We enabled farmers a more sustainable and higher quality source of protein at low cost. And how can we do that? With an automated insect breeding box for grasshoppers. Inside of our box, the grasshoppers convert otherwise unusable byproducts into protein, so they can really upcycle waste into high-quality proteins. Chickens themselves are by nature not vegetarians, so the animal-based proteins causes a better welfare for the chickens. And lastly, the grasshoppers are being fed alive, which means that the chickens are engaged, they have their natural instincts, they look around, they hunt them, and they stop pecking each other and themselves. SmartBreed is founded by 5 founders with very diverse backgrounds, which is very much needed for the complex problem we are tackling, where we have hardware, software, and a living organism. Very much looking forward to your questions.
You even had 5 seconds to spare. I like it, so calm. Antonius.
Thanks for the pitch, Patrick.
Thank you.
I'm wondering, how big is that market? What's your assessment? How many breeders are there who would need that product?
So we are based in Switzerland, and there we have about 2,000 bio farms, so organic farms for laying hens. And the market here in Germany is about 10 times that from Switzerland. And that's just the first issue we're tackling, where we have the grasshoppers being fed alive. And what we are doing is we're making it cheaper so we can compete more in soy. So we feed the animals that as a powder. And by cheaper, we need to go bigger. So we are building a facility in 2022 that can produce 150 tons of grasshoppers each year.
Great.
Is there a second question from the jury?
Are you selling the hardware to the breeders, or are you going to supply them with any auxiliary services?
We don't sell the boxes, so we have a pay-per-use model. So the farmers actually gets our boxes. He only pays per produced kilogram per grasshoppers, because we always get faster. We monitor all sorts of data inside of our box. So we have over 1,000 breeding cycles tracked and have the data of it. When we started, it took us 9 weeks from the little grasshoppers to the fully grown up. Now we're down to 3. So we were able to reduce the breeding cycles from 9 down to 3 weeks.
Yeah, go for it, please.
Could you also imagine using these boxes for breeding other insects, or could you also apply it for non-chicken or other types of animals?
Definitely. So with those boxes, we really enable the farmers to breed the grasshoppers and feed them alive. When we go to other markets, like for the pig and fish feed industry, there the insects are being fed dead. So that's why we need to go bigger to get cheaper. Yes.
Do you already have an estimate about kind of what's the payback on the pay-per-use model?
It's 1.5 years.
1.5 years. Okay.
And how many chicken can be fed with one box?
So a farmer with 600 laying hens has 20 boxes, and then he feeds 1 box per day, and that's enough to cut out the whole soy out of his food.
Okay, thanks.
Do the chicken need any other food beyond the insects?
Yes, so we only cut out the soya from the food source, which is about 20% of what the chickens eat. The rest, which are other seeds, which are locally grown here, they are not an issue.
Sorry, what were the cost savings again for the farmer?
So with the live feeding, it gets more expensive. So soy is not for no reason the number one protein source. There are also a lot of negative side effects to it, which are not calculated in. So what we do is the farmer, he charges 5 cents more per egg, but he can say, I'm soy-free, I have a better life for my chickens, and I do something for the environment, and then it adds up for him.
All right, we got to end it there. Let's give him a hand. Thank you so much. You go in that direction. You go in that direction. Super. And moving swiftly forward, we are now going to switch up the microphone. And next up, representing FimoHealth from Gateway Cologne, please welcome Alex.
Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Alex. I'm one of the co-founders of FimoHealth, and we are developing a solution for fatigue. Fatigue is a clinically relevant, massive form of exhaustion, meaning that small activities, like taking a shower, playing with your kids, or going for a walk, can be so exhausting that patients need to recover for hours or sometimes even days. But why is this relevant? We see that 90% of the MS and cancer patients suffer from fatigue, but also other chronic conditions such as rheuma, diabetes, long COVID, or Alzheimer's, just to name some, can lead to fatigue. Just in Germany, we have 4 million people affected. Within the European Union, it's 40 million, and even the economical impact is very, very huge. That's why we are building the following solution. We are building an app that is working with different parameters that we are measuring that can affect fatigue by the help of smartphone and wearable sensors. In addition to that, we are working with scientifically proven tests and questionnaires, and by the help of all of that data, we are able to quantify and measure fatigue. In addition to that, we have also integrated therapeutic elements within the app so that patients are able to proactively contact their fatigue so that the level of fatigue is decreasing and the quality of life is increasing. We are a medical device and we are tested in clinical trials so that we are able to show that we really can do what we want to do. For our business model, right now we are closing a lot of selective contracts with health insurance providers in Germany, insuring more than 25 million people for our long COVID and cancer product. Our MS product will be reimbursable by next year from all health insurance providers in Germany as a DIGA. In addition to that, we are also following a B2B approach for a white label and SDK solution, starting with some first pilot partners there right now. Regarding a team, we have like strong backgrounds, all necessary within the regards of health, of psychology, as well as IT and tech development and business development. Right now, we are currently raising our first funding round of 1.1 million, of which 500K is already committed, and we're still looking for further investors. So if you want to help us building the leading digital symptom measurement tool, please feel free out to reach afterwards, and now I'm looking forward to the questions. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for your pitch. Can we dive deeper into clinical trials? Can you tell me something about it?
Yes, of course. I'll just do it. So, what we have done so far.
Can you talk into the microphone because we're also live streaming and they can't hear you without the mic?
Sorry for that.
Yeah.
We did already a feasibility trial with 40 MS patients, which was quite successful because patients liked using the app. But right now we are also working with primary and secondary outcomes. Again, like with 50 MS patients, and the first interim results are very promising. And by beginning of next year, we will run 2 RCTs, randomized clinical trials, with long COVID and MS patients.
And what kind of vital tracker do you use or sensors?
Right now, it's just possible to connect the app with Garmin devices, but we are also working with other SDKs so that in the future we are also able to connect like an Apple Watch or like a Samsung Watch or whatever.
In order to measure what?
Like the vital parameters such as sleep behavior, stress, physical activity, and these kind of things.
Can you speak a bit more about how you counteract that? Like what the app does to sort of overcome this?
Yeah, we have like many different elements coming from nutrition, mindfulness, physical activity trainings, but also, for example, how to behave with friends and family, how to behave with the employee. So almost everything that can be related somehow to the primary disease, the fatigue and other symptoms.
What do you do to raise kind of like awareness about the fatigue? Because I would imagine that, you know, if I have COVID, I realize that I have COVID, right? If I have symptoms about fatigue, it can be a lot of different reasons for that. So I guess raising that awareness is quite difficult.
Yeah, actually, like it depends a little bit in which chronic condition you are working. Like if, for example, if you're going to MS, it's really a big topic, so almost every patient knows about it. Mm-hmm. Like if you're looking into new fields like the long COVID, that's a bit more complicated right now. But at least the patients who are dealing like with long COVID, many of them already know about fatigue or that it's connected to it. So right now it's even like the other way around, that many patients are coming to us because they're seeing, okay, I'm having some issues with fatigue related to long COVID.
How much do the health insurances usually pay for that?
Right now we are focusing around 180 euros per quarter for like the first prescription, and follow-up prescriptions are 90 euros per quarter.
All right, Alex, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Let's give him a hand.
Thanks a lot, everybody.
Super. Representing from Poland, from Warsaw, we have got Bart and Michał. Let's give them a hand.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Yeah. My name is Bart, and I am a co-founder of Chefs, a mobile application to monitor your diet effortlessly. And well, being on a diet is hard work. When I was trying to gain weight, I was just overwhelmed with the amount of knowledge about nutrition I had to gain, and all the tedious food tracking was taking just so much time. Managing all that was exhausting, but it doesn't have to be. With Chefs, you track your diet with ease. Our AI-based technology monitors what you eat from just the pictures of your meals. Every recipe that you will see in the app is already tailored to you based on your goals and your food intake. You don't have to care about calories like ever again. The app is free now and is monetized through ads. The more advanced features will be available through monthly subscription. We'll also partner with food-related companies to promote their businesses in our app. Currently, 60% of our users are from Poland, but the app attracts people from as far as South America, which proves that chefs can enter basically any market. We are seeking financing of 200,000 euros, mostly to extend our team to increase the pace of the app development, as we plan to deliver the already mentioned AI-based seamless diet tracking system in the next year. We are 2 software developers, which I think is our big advantage here, because we can lead the startup as well as be deep in the actual development of the app. And with sufficient funding, we think that we can elevate the app to another level. It could become the go-to tool for diet tracking, meal planning, recipe storing, and much, much more. And thank you.
Thank you for your pitch. Can you put a little bit more color onto your AI? Why do you need AI in a diet tracking or food analysis app?
Yeah, so basically what now the competition has, when you create a diet tracker, you just have a calculator. So when you ate something and you want to save it in the app to know how many calories you ate, you would have to type down what you ate, or if you cooked something, you just had to buy a scale, count everything you ate, and do it manually. And with AI, we want to make this process as easy as possible. So you could basically just take a picture of your meal, and that's it. You don't have to do anything else, because we think that people who want to be on a diet doesn't have to be experts on that, and they don't want to spend that much time and effort, because it is time consuming, and it is hard to be on a diet if you always have to do all these small things. It can be exhausting. That's why we think that using AI and utilizing it, we can just minimize, make this process minimum, so you don't have to do much else.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Can you maybe speak a bit about how you differentiate against competitors? Because I think there's already apps out there that do this.
Yeah, there are. Well, we could divide competitors into 2 directions. One are digital recipe apps for storing recipes, and the other is diet trackers. And our current version of the application is already ahead of its competitors in the recipe storing market, because we already have features that are unavailable in any other app. Which behind this app are companies who have hundreds of employees, and we still manage, just the 2 of us, manage to deliver the app that is now ahead of the competitors, thanks to some cool features like saving a recipe from simply from the cookbook. You just take a picture of a recipe and you already have it in the app, so it's one source of recipes. Also, there are diet trackers, and now we are trying to get some fundings to deliver a diet tracker. And now the apps like the LifeSum and MyFitnessPal, they have some features, but as I said, they are mostly based on counting calories. So it is like this really hard process of putting everything in the app, and we want to make it as easy as possible, as I said.
What kind of recommendations does the app turn out as a result?
What do you mean by recommendations?
If, for example, I scan and it's above
so
my...
after you, for example, have eaten a pizza, you can make a picture of it, and then the application directly counts the calories. So then you know if you can eat another thing, or you can get the recommendation of the recipe that, for example, for the last meal during the day, you should make a smaller meal.
Super. And with that, wrapped up time. Thank you guys so much. There's one massive fan for Warsaw in the house. Yes, that gentleman over there. Excellent. Super. All right, so now let's welcome up from AWAN, the wonderful Aneta. Let's give her a hand.
So the first thing I do when I come home is throw off anything tight and clammy, and I put on my comfy clothes. But one day I stopped and I asked myself, why do I change into random clothes that I don't want to be seen in just to be comfy? My name is Anetta, and I'm the founder of AWAN, a comfort-first DTC fashion brand for women who don't want to choose between feeling good or looking good. We did a survey, and 9 out of 10 women say they change when they come home to be comfy, yet 80% are not happy with what they change into. Comfy clothes is a $148 billion category and a fundamental shift in how we dress, yet the market is still dominated by PJs or yoga pants. AWAN is a new dressing experience. We produce in nanotech, circular fabrics, and products that flow and breathe with the body. Good on the skin, good for the planet. Did you know that fashion is the second biggest polluter in the world? We need to stop how we produce and consume clothes. But for real change to happen, brand, product, and business model have to come together in a new way. That's why we build circularity into our DTC platform and use technology to reduce the gap between supply and demand while building a fashion brand of the future. I have 10 years private label experience and a core team of entrepreneurs to help us reach our high ambitions and excellent advisors, including our investor Antler and SSC Business Lab. We also have the metrics to succeed. We have 80% gross margins and 33% month-over-month growth this year, on track to reach 2 million euros next year based on reinvested marketing spend. AWAN is on a mission to disrupt a massive outdated industry with a new clothing concept for women who are not willing to compromise between looking good, feeling good, and being good to the planet. Thank you.
First of all, it's great that you have superior knowledge in this market. Thomas would say if I would build a women's fashion brand, it's probably not the right thing to do. But so how do you, I mean, this is a very competitive space, right? How do you bring the right messaging to your customers? How do you make sure in your marketing efforts that you can differentiate, right? Because that's very crucial in the end.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to understand it's both a branding game and a DTC playbook. And to understand the next generation of DTC, how do you, first of all, create a brand that women or your target audience want to vote with their wallets? It needs to be emotional and value-driven, and AWAN certainly is. We are creating a really edgy brand, but at the same time, our product offering is quite simple. It's easy to produce, it's easy to scale with DTC marketing. And we're also making sure that our growth journey is a circular journey, which I think is also what makes us stand out in our space, is that we're so uncompromising on that, in that area.
What makes your fabric so special?
Well, at the moment, we were kind of using, I think, 99% of our collection is in Tencel, which is a nanotech fabric, biodegradable, non-toxic chemicals, certified all the way from wood fibers, usually eucalyptus, which we believe is the future of fabrics. And there's a lot of other innovations in that space that we're looking into. But basically, we're kind of looking into how fabrics and intentional design can make fashion more like a wellness experience, and where what you put on your skin matters equally and as your skincare routine.
Can you tell something about the pricing, just to get a feeling what's the price range and what's your target group?
So it's around €100 plus minus. For the pieces. We are kind of growing with modular styles that you can mix and match, and dresses. And what we see is that women are actually building their AWAN wardrobe now. And they wear them every day. I think 68% wear AWAN every week or every day until they're worn out, and then they replenish with new.
You're wearing one yourself right now, I guess.
The top, yes.
Yes, exactly. Looks great. And the question is kind of like, why do you think it's comfort? And for example, like I looked at Dyewear, I'm not sure if you know them, from London. They are really focused on business clothing for women. And I hear from a lot of my female friends that this is a big issue, right? Business clothing for women is still very uncomfortable. Do you know what the use cases are typically? Is it more for business related or more for private related use cases?
We did a lot of work on this to understand where to position the brand, and we realized that our clothes, you know, it's like coming home in our clothes. The comfort level that you expect when you kind of shed off every layer and you want to come home and just be yourself. That's what you feel like when you have AWAN on. But you can also wear it anytime, anywhere. That's how versatile it is. Our benchmark is it should be so comfortable you can sleep in it, but so versatile and flattering that you can wear it anywhere.
My only criticism is you don't have stuff for men, because I have the same desire to just walk out comfortable too, although this is pretty comfy. But let's give it up for Aneta. Come on. Okay, we're going to go to TUM right now, and we have got Jackie and Simon. So let's give them a hand.
Annoying, right? Imagine this sound. Every night you try to fall asleep. Well, that is life for more than 3 million people in Germany alone who suffer from tinnitus on a constant basis. There is no cure. The only thing they can do is cope with the symptoms. The gold standard is still to mask your tinnitus acoustically. But there's actually no suitable device to do so while the most critical phase of the day, while falling asleep. We from Tinus thought there must be a better solution. That's why we invented an innovative sound pillow with a concert-like sound on the entire pillow surface, but with that silence right next to the technologies, and gave it out to more than 200 test users in an iterative process. As most of the test users expressed their interest in buying our prototypes, we are now focusing market readiness. Building up on our hardware product, we are going to offer more service models in the future, tackling chronic sleeping disorders like snoring or teeth grinding. My co-founder Simon has great expertise in product development and medical affairs, while I'm responsible for marketing and the business development. We are both united by the experience of our previous startups. We have an incentive motivation of both of our fathers actually suffer from tinnitus, and we both are motivated and sure that we are going to bring Tinus to all tinnitus patients around the world. If you want to be one of the first to secure your Tinus One pillow now, here's the code. We are Tinus, come sleep with us.
All right, who's got the first question?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, very meaningful problem you're tackling. I have two questions. So first, like, what would be, or what alternative are patients, if you want to call them that, using right now? I would assume many people just maybe use their phone when they go to bed or put music on or other ambient noise. And then, or maybe we'll start with
sure,
that.
I can answer that. So basically what they do now is they use headphones, but they are super unhealthy to sleep with. Because if you have a slight pressure on your ear, you're going to have a wake-up phase. So that's not really a solution. So then they choose the TV or the radio, but that most of the time affects their partner. So then they go back to headphones, and as I said, you're not super healthy to sleep with.
Got it. And can you maybe briefly speak about how you solve that you only hear this when you're on the pillow and that your partner doesn't hear it?
Yeah, maybe can Simon talk about that?
The clue is we start from bone conduction, so we don't spread the sound via the air, but through hard devices, and we make that comfortable. So wherever on the pillow you're laying on, you can feel the sound and hear the sound, while we don't spread it in the surroundings. And while we're doing so, we measure the sleep data, or like the sleep habits, and thereby you don't need to press any button, you don't need to do anything, you just, for the phase of falling asleep, you have the masking.
Cool.
And do you play just sound, or do you have an anti-amplitude, or how do you do this?
We start with the individual sounds the user likes to listen to, because our pilot studies, evaluated, and everyone has a different sound. And for the future, we are creating our own sounds, because there's like some main ones a lot of them like to use.
Okay. On the photo you were showing, the pillow looked like one of these rather hard pillows. Could you put it into soft pillows too to cater other comfort levels?
We are focusing on these side sleeper pillows, as most of the people are actually side sleepers. And the next iterations are going to be a bit slimmer for belly sleepers or whatsoever. Yeah.
Does this actually lead to the tinnitus to go away, or is it just sort of preventing that you can't fall asleep?
So there's actually no cure for tinnitus, but there are a few therapies out there and the problem is with the therapies, you don't know if the tinnitus is going to be worse or if it's going to be better. And the problem, if people realize it's getting worse, it's most of the time too late. And that's why we said, okay, we want to really track the sleep data to see if it really supports the tinnitus patients. And that's a bit with the most of the audio therapies, they're struggling because they can't really promise you it's going to be better, because for a lot of patients it's going to be worse. So we are trying to, not to be the therapy, but we are telling them, okay, use the therapies on our pillow and we can tell you, preventing you from getting your tinnitus worse.
Let's give them a hand. All right. Just for research purposes, who are belly sleepers? Raise your hand, belly sleepers. So you have two options. You sleep on your side, or you sleep on your belly. I'm a belly sleeper. Back sleeper. Who's belly? Good question. Good question. Who's belly? All right, super. Can we welcome up, I think from Sweden, we now have Axel representing Highgate Technology. Let's get it for Axel. There we go.
Hi guys, my name is Axel, and I'm representing Highgate Technology. We develop a digital platform for circular material and inventory management. Companies today, they rarely save things in order to reuse them, and those who tried knows that it's nearly impossible to keep track of all the things you save and where you save them. And this it's simply easier to just throw them away and buy new. And this is one of the major reasons to why the real estate and construction industry is one of the most wasteful industries in the whole world. Only in Sweden, it accounts for over 30% of the total waste. And this has to change. That has to change now. That's why we develop Palats, which is a digital platform that simplifies the management and reuse of all the products that companies already own, making that process just as simple as buying new. We've had some great growth this year, actually. We charge our customers on a monthly subscription basis with the additional opportunity of adding an internal marketplace solution. On average, our customers pay around 530 euros a month. And the market is just as excited about our product as we are, actually. And we already have some of Sweden's largest companies and organizations using it. And the users, they really endorse the product. But none of this would have been possible without a great team. And we also have a set of really strong actors backing us up, along with one of Sweden's most prominent reuse experts. We don't intend on stopping here until the whole world has turned circular. And today we're announcing that we are opening our financing round, first seed round actually, closing this spring. So if you want to be part of that journey, please reach out to us and let's go.
Thanks for the pitch. How do you actually put the inventory into the app so you get the overview of what you have?
Yeah. So one of the, I don't know if we have a slide on that. Yeah. So one of the main issues today is not to like sell things to other people because there's the demand for reused products. The big thing is to stock take it. And that's why we put a lot of effort into making that functionality as intuitive and simple as possible, so it doesn't take as much time as it does today. We do that with, today we use an app. So here you see we have pre-specified, for example, for a door here, you can mark it on the floor plan, and you get pre-specified specifications. So you only input everything that's needed in order for that product to be interesting to reuse, basically. But that's something we also work on very carefully to improve the speed there.
And are you planning to categorize this so I get a better overview, and if I need certain building materials, I can pick it immediately?
Yeah, that's already in the system today. So basically, they already try and stock take everything in the renovations and the buildings when they do that, because they need to have some kind of material on what's the waste going to be like and what can we do with these products. Today they use paper and pen or Excel, and that's, you know, takes a lot of hours, basically.
How do you handle the logistics around the reuse? And I'm assuming there's also an additional cost to, you know, transferring stuff around.
Very good question. Around the logistics, it's one of the major things with the circular economy, of course, that has to be solved. But what we saw that today companies already benefit from doing this internally, and they usually, since they are large companies, have the means of making those logistics work. Of course, this has to grow to like a societal scale, industry scale, basically. But the truth is that you can do it today, and you can do it in a profitable way. It's just that you have to focus on the right products.
Super. And with that, let's give it a hand.
Hello. Hello, my name is Linda, and I'm a senior researcher at Riga Technical University. In my free time, I like to do gardening. Unfortunately, gardening takes more time than I have, and very often the plant roots get damaged when I do the replanting, and also we also generate a lot of waste, plastic waste, and increased CO2 emissions. Luckily, there is an alternative. Biodegradable fungal mycelium pots made usable only for direct transplantation that do not cause any CO2 emissions. So how it works? Just take the seed, plant in the pot, wait for the plant to grow, and directly transplant in the soil or in a bigger pot. MyPots offer an alternative to classical plastic and biodegradable fungal mycelium. Classical biodegradable pots, so they are 15 times faster, and they biodegrade 2.5 times faster than the peat pots. So our customers are gardening enthusiasts and also horticultural professionals. After acquiring some more fungal mycelium composite products, we aim to offer the technology for licensing. MyPots consist of 2 female scientists experienced in biotechnology, material design, and business. Our achievements so far, we have obtained an EVO Air subgrant and also participated in AIT Jumpstarter. So the next steps are here. So thank you.
Excellent. And the first founder to bring a little sample as well. Kim, you want to start things out?
Yep. Thanks for your presentation. Can you tell me something more about the product? So how it's built and how's the manufacturing process?
So we grow the fungi with the biological waste, and afterwards we make the product depending. So here is our first prototype. So this is our first product, the plant pots. Usually this type of technology is used for let's say, for design products. So they are usually expensive. What we aim to do is to manufacturing a more accessible product, let's say, so that it can be introduced not only for those who have a lot of money, let's say. But afterwards, it's just made the shape, and yeah, and it's also safe for the consumer. There is no living fungi inside there.
So that means you're going to replace the plastic pots.
That is our aim.
And if you compare the price per pot, plastic to your pot?
Well, this is the reason I'm here. So currently it's too expensive, of course, to compete with the regular plastic pots. But what we can say is that if we manage to develop the production, we can be at least on the same level.
Okay.
Well, I'm not talking about China at the moment, about the prices from there, but yeah.
Okay, if no further questions, thank you so much. Okay, next up from Leuven, we have got Esther talking about the HITCH concept. So let's give Esther a hand.
Hi, everybody. I'm Esther. I'm an interior architect, and I founded HITCH Concept. It all started as a frustration on how much waste I saw generated in the industry that I work in. And when I analyzed the problem, it all came back to one thing: objects aren't designed to last. So I came up with a solution. Meet the HITCH. It is a stainless steel connector that allows you to build all kinds of furniture and setups really easily. You connect all kinds of sheet material without damaging the material, so all parts of the setup always stay intact, making them perpetually reusable. It requires no knowledge, no glue, and it's really easy to build, but also to rebuild. Since all the parts of the objects remain intact, you can just keep reusing them all the time. We don't only offer our service, we don't only offer our product, but also a service as a designer, and we'll mainly focus on temporary setups for the B2B market, where we'll design like fairs and expositions in a rental and in a purchase setup formula. But as an extra revenue stream, we'll also offer some B2C packages, and this will be ready-made furniture and do-it-yourself packages, so people can just start building at home. This is a recent project we did for a brand that needed an exposition fair. We see the future pretty bright. As an organic, when we would grow organically, we aim to have a gross margin of 500K in 3 years, but with an investment of just 100,000 euros, that growth could speed up to 2 million. This might seem very optimistic, but we're pretty sure that we have a good thing in our hands, because when we analyze the competition, we see that there are many other options, but none of them offers what we offer. I'm not doing this alone. This is my partner, Marjolein, and she is also an interior architect, but she also has a master in finance. So we did a lot of work together, validating, prototyping. We also won 2 awards in Belgium on sustainability and on product innovation. But we want to go further. So with a 100,000 investment, we would accelerate our marketing to internationalize, but also scale up our production process and build more of these in bigger versions. Okay.
Okay.
Done.
Super. Olaf, kick it off.
Thank you for the pitch. And one very simple question. What are you going to sell? The connectors?
No, so we're selling the... Should I talk in this?
Yes,
yeah.
You should talk in the mic.
We're going to sell we're going to first start with the B2B market, where we sell the whole package as a design service with all of the sheet material and everything. People get the total package for their fairs and their temporary setups. But as an extra revenue stream, we're going to sell to end users the packages, and there's going to be a do-it-yourself kit with sheet material and all the tools you need to build your furniture at home.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to do both.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
How do you sort of protect the IP around this?
Yeah, we're actually finishing that up right now. We got a grant from Europe for the IP scan and everything. So we're trying to get a patent, I don't know in English. So that's normally getting in order right now. Yeah.
And do you think something like this is patentable?
Yeah, it is patentable. Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Any other question?
To put in the patent the angle and how to connect the pieces, or
technical how it works, because the system that I made allows the so the system allows the plates to range from 1 millimeter to 2 centimeters, and that's a system that hasn't been on the market. So the technical system is what's going to be patented.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right. Well done.
All
You
right.
can take the mic. Souvenir. Go that way. Okay, we've got two founders coming in next. So Nikolai and Amanda to talk about codary. And they just told me they didn't take the train or the plane to get here. They just rolled out of bed because they're local from Berlin. So let's show some Berlin love. Come on.
Hi, I'm Amanda, and I'm the CEO of Codary. That's my co-founder, Nikolai. Before I get started, I would like to ask you guys one question. Who of you knows how to code? Please raise your hand. All right, so you're more than the average. But on average, only 15% of European children have basic programming skills, even though programming is one of the most important job skills. With Codary, we are teaching the next generations the skills they need to succeed in the 21st century. How do we do that? By teaching kids how to code with a mobile learning app, a web learning platform, and live classes taught via video chat. Our business is based on a subscription model and comes at 71 euros per month for the live class package. With a CLV of 852 euros, we're looking at an extremely promising market of 8 billion euros and strong unit economics. Our live classes have a net operating profit of over 50%.
So far, we have exceeded all expectations. 750 kids in paid live classes, over 100K in revenue, and 4.5 stars on Trustpilot. Kids and parents love us. And we have an amazing course completion rate of 80%. We have strong partners, and we've been collecting awards left and right, and we're keen to add another one tonight. We have also been mentioned in the press nationally and internationally. But who are we? We are the experts for rebuilding the educational system. Amanda, Antonia, and I. We have just raised over 800,000 in our pre-seed round and are planning to add another 5 million by summer next year to achieve our goals. We start to raise the money by January next year. So sign up to be on our wait list and let's change the future together. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you for the pitch, guys. How do you see this in comparison? What are the efforts from the government and traditional schools, first of all, to be in this market as well and compete with you? right? And then that's the first question. I have a second question, but maybe answer that first.
All right, great question. So what we see at the moment is that there's a massive gap of what is learned at school, the skills that you get at school, and what is actually needed at the workplace. So most of our schools, especially the public schools, are pretty much stuck a century ago with what you're learning there and have failed to adapt to the needs of modern day society.
All right, and how do you, I mean, €70 for many families per month is quite a lot of money, I guess. How do you make it more affordable? Are you going to go through B2B to C as well, maybe through some foundations, or what's your go-to-market approach?
Right. So what we are already doing is that we have a strong collaboration with a foundation called the Roland Berger Stiftung, which give out scholarships for underprivileged youth, so that way even kids that can't, where the parents couldn't afford the money themselves, can participate in our classes.
If this is extracurricular, do kids do this on their own, or do they require, like me as a parent, to sit next to them?
Right. No, they actually do it on their own. The parents are first session with us because, you know, it's online. Who is this? Well, codary. And after the first session, they're on their own. Sometimes we have parents who like, hey, I thought you're into coding. Why don't you give it a try? But sometimes the kids go out on their own, Google, how do I program? How can I get to program? Then they see codary, walk up to their parents and say, I want to be a programmer. And their parents are always in.
And maybe one second question, how do you achieve such a high completion rate?
I think that's for me again. We have like pretty dedicated coaches, and we don't do MOOCs, like massive open online courses. We have cohorts, and these kids, they don't know each other before, but they stay after the courses sometimes to like chat, hang out, program, and have fun. So it's very getting like the game-based learning approach, not just learning, sitting there and consuming, but being an active part in the learning process.
What's next on the roadmap? What other educational skills are you going to teach children? Because once you have them in those programs, it could be interesting to do something else as well.
Yeah, that's also a great question. So at the moment, we are focusing on programming, but what we are also seeing at the moment is that when kids join our classes, they're lacking the basic skills of just using a computer. When I was little, I started with a computer and then moved to a smartphone, but nowadays it's the other way around. So what we observe is that kids often struggle with, how do I open a folder? How do I open a program before they can even get to programming? So basic like digital skills, digital literacy skills are also a possible option.
We're going to start Speakery, where you can learn speaking skills. And we're raising $5 million as well, so there we go. Is there a wait list? There is a wait list for that too. All right, well done. Okay, next up, I know it's a lot. 15 pitches is a lot, so please clap for them as if it's the first time they're up here, because it is the first time they're up here. So please welcome Brunato and I think Giulietta from Flui.Go.
When children play, they have fun. But they're also learning key problem-solving skills. They're using their imagination, creativity, and curiosity. This is what we believe children should experience when they learn about science. Our goal is to make learning more fun. We're Flui.Go Science, and we have developed an educational toolkit that makes science engaging. Using transparent modular blocks, children can create experiments in physics, chemistry, and much more. Think of it as Lego with fluids. The strong drive for hands-on teaching and learnings in primary and secondary schools is a great opportunity for Flui.Go. We see potential in two markets: educational tools for schools and the private market for toys. This year, we already have 30 schools that have pre-ordered our Flui.Go kit. The market is interested, and the people are enthusiastic about our product.
One of them is Stefan, a primary school teacher that used the Flui.Go kit in his classes. Here's what he said. The Flui.Go kit provided the environment for me to see skills, abilities, and the inspiration in my students that would have otherwise gone unnoticed. Now we need your help to take Flui.Go to the next level. We want to scale up the production and increase the outreach in the private consumer market, where of course we see the greatest potential. Rainer Weiss, Nobel laureate in physics, said, "It is fundamental to work on things that are fun." His life was never dedicated to win a prize. He just followed his passions and had fun along the way. We couldn't agree more. Science should be fun. Because when children have fun learning, they want to learn more. And when they learn more, they know more. If they know more, they have the possibility to become the game changers of tomorrow.
Congratulations, nice. Thomas? Yeah.
Very cool. Thanks for the pitch. On the B2B side, it seems pretty clear that like a teacher is guiding the kids when they're working with this. On the B2B side, how does it work there? Is it like, do you produce content, or is there like a course or a class around this?
First of all, we have an application on the phone, which you can use to explain. It's like all the instructions are explained there. You are more than welcome to come and check out the kit during the lunch break, because it's a working prototype, so we can show it to all of you. And we also have a handbook. At the moment is in paper, so it's a handbook that the teachers are using to guide the children through the process. But eventually we will probably just have a more developed app when everything is going to be integrated in the app.
Cool.
Can you give us a little more detail on your competition? So who do you consider as your competitor? You mentioned Lego, but pretty sure there's Fischer Technik or something like this.
Yes. So these, as you can see in the slide, are the main competitors. And there is a lot of stuff out there, but we think we are positioned in a unique situation because let's take Lego. You said Lego, right? They have a very flexible kit because of course it's Lego, so it's flexible, but it's only one subject because it's only robotics and programming, right? With our kit, we can do physics, we can do chemistry, we can do molecular gastronomy, and we are developing experiments in physiology and other fields. And the idea behind it is because it's modular, you can recombine it and create new experiments. So we are also thinking of creating different type of sets. There will be a basic set and then expansions and all the possibilities that come with the modularity of the kit.
Okay, cool.
Okay, no further questions? You're done. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well done. Okay, so we've got now Joost coming in to present his idea, Clickdrive. Let's give Joost a hand.
Hey guys, can you hear me properly? My name is Joost, and I'm going to talk about something we all experience or are going to experience. It's about achieving your driver's license. There's one small difference. I was really, really bad at it, and it causes me to change the most outdated market in Europe, the driver's license industry. So I created Clickdrive. Clickdrive is an online marketplace where every student finds the perfect instructor. How do we do this? We match them based on personality traits, ratings, reviews, and sustainability. From there on, he has a perfect instructor, and you can book and pay him within 3 clicks every single lesson. Our software gives you a progress report afterwards, so the student has a clear vision on where he is in the process. Thereby, we promise you can achieve your license faster and cheaper than anywhere else. We're up and running since March. We have nationwide coverage with 250 plus driving schools and 500 students. How much do we have left? 500 students. So it's time for the next step. We need to take more social responsibility. The amount of traffic accidents with people below 25 is increasing for the 5th year in a row. So now we're thinking about the next step. And what is it? We changed the market, and now we need to change the education. We start analyzing our traffic behavior from our students and try to create a totally new way to educate the student to get your license faster, cheaper, and a better prepared way. This is Clickdrive. We're up and running. We're still in the Netherlands, but we're going to Germany soon. So I hope to see you then. Thank you so much.
All right. How do people look for driving instructors today usually, and what are the main criteria they're looking for? Do you have any basic research on that?
Yeah, I will focus on the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, there are 2 times too much driving instructors, and 80% is a sole entrepreneur. So the only way they can do is Google. So students can Google. Then for, like, say I'm from Rotterdam, there are 1,000 driving schools. So there's no way to compare them at once. You should take a lot of time to compare them. And then there are the metrics. The metrics are only available when you Google them very thoroughly at the National Institute. People are 17, 18 years old and will never do this. So the only thing they can believe is what they hear from someone else, or just they get like lured in by this advertisement, like everyone passes within 10 lessons. That's how it goes right now.
I think in Germany we have a mandatory amount of driving lessons per hour. Do you have it in the Netherlands too?
No, we don't have anything.
Okay. that clears up a lot.
Yeah. I think maybe you can Google it. Like 20% of the students in the Netherlands have serious complaints about the driving instructor. And I hear you thinking serious complaints. That includes smoking weed. So it's like really, really bad market. Or good for me.
How much of this is word of mouth typically that you find out about the driving instructor? Because you said it yourself, like typically you get, you have your friends that already did it, who are maybe 1 or 2 years older, and then they tell you, I go to this guy, he's good.
Yeah, it's around 30% actually, but also depends, because my out of work with youngsters is, you have so many friends, so it really depends.
Yeah.
But almost 30%.
And if you live maybe in Amsterdam it's a little bit different, right? There are probably I don't know, I have no clue, but maybe 50 or 40, driving schools. But if you live in a small town, you won't go to Amsterdam to do your driving lessons, right? So you maybe have 2 options only. So
yeah, it's like driving schools. There are like 14,000 in the Netherlands. That's twice as much as needed. So in Amsterdam there are above 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
So all these small villages also taken by these companies because the competition is that high. I think you can choose in every village at least at 5 driving schools. And so in Amsterdam City, 1,000 plus.
Gotcha.
Can you speak about your business model a bit? Like, do you charge a lead fee? Do you charge for the app? How do you?
We increase the price with a fixed amount of like €3, and then plus transaction cost. We try to do commission first, like lowering the price, but the price competition is already this high, it doesn't add up. So we just increase the price with every driving lesson, so the consumer will just see like an equally price, and we get like €3 per driving lesson. And in the Netherlands, the amount of students is 300,000 students annually.
what's your completion rate?
You mean like passing rate of the students?
Yeah, I mean, like if I start with an instructor on your app, how many people complete in the end and get their license?
Oh yeah, like that's 100%, and that's because like normally when you're at the driving school and you don't like him, you switch.
Yeah.
But to another driving school, so you lost money. But he stays in our ecosystem. He switches to another instructor, so to another commission for us.
Okay.
Super. All right. Thank you very much, Just. We've got 3 more to go, and so this one is called Fitsurance. They come out of Amsterdam. Representing is Tommy. So let's give Tommy a nice warm welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the introduction, and also thank you for the opportunity to pitch here. Chronic diseases are on the rise. More and more people are getting unhealthy, even though there are more and more initiatives and mobile applications to help us get healthier lifestyle. Especially what we have learned from the COVID pandemic is that chronic diseases tend to have a high toll on our health status. For instance, people with at least one chronic disease have a higher susceptibility to getting corona, but also show a higher death toll. So we really need to reduce the chronic diseases. But how do we do it? Well, if I look at my family, in which some people have type 2 diabetes, for them, a lot of stuff could have been prevented if they would have simply known their health status in an earlier stage. They wanted to prevent type 2 diabetes. So this is exactly what we do. We make it very easy for people to measure their health, and we make the variables that we measure understandable in an automatically generated report. We give them science-based, data-driven lifestyle advice. Together with a mobile application, which is still in development, we can also monitor their behavior and their health remote and help them to maintain a new healthy lifestyle. In the first 2 years of Fitsurance, we've had quite some successes with subsidies, with which we could fund all of our R&D processes. So right now we have a web app API together with several packages and different health measurements. This market is growing exponentially, especially after Corona. And big parties such as Amazon are also picking this up. The market is growing 15 to 30% every year. So if you also believe that Europe needs to have a more prevention on the healthcare agenda, and you believe a diverse and multidisciplinary team can do this, help us, help others. Thank you.
Thanks for the pitch. So what is your main differentiator? Because there are gazillions fitness tracker apps and vital tracker out there in the market. So what are you doing so special and different?
We're combining the different stuff. So it's a movement tracking, so you can track physical activity, but we also track the biomarkers such as cholesterol, blood pressure, and blood sugar, in which we use those parameters as an input to advise them on. For instance, people with a high blood pressure and a low cholesterol need different lifestyle tips or need different approaches than people with the other way around. Does that make sense?
How do you track the cholesterol? I mean, it needs to go to a doctor probably and then input myself, or?
No, very good question. So in the right top corner, you see what we sent. We've developed the Fit Kit. You've got small devices which you can take a blood sample. Mm-hmm. The blood sample will be sent to the lab, and we get the data from the lab. It's automatically into our API, and then the people can just download their health report from the client portal.
Understand.
Yep.
Lots of tests. How is the adaptation of picking up the certain tests that you offer?
I don't understand the question.
Did you test it with lots of customers right now, and how many do which part of the testing? It looks quite sophisticated.
Yeah, so this is really the first version of the. I think you're referring to the health report. This is really the first version of the health report, and we're always further developing it with focus groups. As you can imagine, one size fits none in health, and this report really helps people that don't have much knowledge regarding the health status to also know what they have to do. And for other measurements, for other target groups, we need different reports, but this is always work in progress.
Yeah. Are you working on reimbursements for the health kit, or like how does that work?
We are definitely working towards it. Unfortunately, in Holland, this is a little bit harder to do. It's more top-down regulated, a lot of stuff. Basically, it's a little bit harder, but in other European markets, such as Germany or Spain, it's a little bit easier to do so. So we're working towards this in the coming 2 years.
Understand.
All right.
No more questions.
Tommy,
Wow.
thank you. Well done. You really want to show something. What do you want to show us?
I think I've put all my backup slides here.
Oh.
Thank you.
I guess the announcement is done. That was the next slide. All right.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. So next up, talking about real estate. So we're switching a little bit from education to real estate. We're going to have Christoph from Epiclay. Let's give him a hand.
This is a green wall. It's not only beautiful, it also absorbs CO2 and reduces air pollution. And at the same time, it also caters to a massive demand shift in the construction industry. So if everybody loves them, why don't we see them all over the place? Well, because existing solutions have not been made to scale. They are very high, they require a lot of maintenance and are also complex to install. We have fixed that. With Epiclay, we are proposing a highly scalable vertical greening solution. The unique combination of the most robust plants found in nature and our clay-based modules achieve a very low maintenance solution, which actually doesn't even require soil. At the same time, our product has been designed to be very easy to install and compatible with all standard facade systems. And the market needs a scalable solution. More and more cities around the world are making the greening of buildings mandatory. Buildings with green infrastructure have been proven to achieve higher sales and rent prices, and there's a strong demand push from both customers and investors. And to cater to this enormous market potential, we're currently conducting paid POCs with external customers, have built a significant sales pipeline of Fortune 500s and regional champions, and have actually already received licensing inquiries from some of the largest facade producers globally. And to make all of that possible, we have assembled an amazing team of global experts in architecture, biology, and business development, as well as our partners, such as our production partner with over 500 years of experience in the clay production, our implementation partner, GIG, which have built some of the most renowned buildings, including the Axel Springer building here in Berlin. And, well, as a first step towards our scaling strategy, we are currently raising a €1 million convertible seed round, of which 50% have already been committed. And now I'm very much looking forward to your questions. Thank you.
Christoph, thank you so much for the pitch. So who is your customer? Who's paying for this in the end? I guess it's the owner of the buildings?
Exactly. So in the first step, we're mainly targeting Fortune 500s, corporates which are owning their own facilities. And through this scaling that happens there, also in terms of economies of scale, we are then targeting property developers mainly.
And can you talk a little bit about the unit economics of this?
Yeah, sure thing. So currently we are at a sales price of approximately €800 per square meter, which makes us above 400 or 500 euros cheaper than our competitors, and also actually 30% cheaper than the average glass facade if you put up a new building. And we are expecting economies of scale there for up to 50 or 60% margins.
How does this compare? I mean, glass obviously might be more expensive, but compared to like concrete or other forms. And second question, can you retrofit buildings as well, or is this only for new developments?
Exactly. So we are actually mainly focusing on retrofits because, these are the most facades that we have out there. Actually, in Vienna alone, which is not that huge of a city, we have 120 million square meters of greenable facade space. So a lot to do there. And it obviously is more expensive than your average kind of average facade, but as we are retrofitting mainly, we are not in the direct competition there.
How does the maintenance look like? What do you have to do to maintain these pallets?
Yeah, so on one hand, you of course have to irrigate them, that's clear. We don't require any soil, as I've mentioned before, so that also gives out a lot of the maintenance from the equation. And what you occasionally can or want to do is maybe cut them, but as we use plants that don't grow extensively, there's no like a kind of cycle that you would say you have to cut them every year or half a year or something like that.
Or any test data? I don't know.
Yeah, so we're currently gathering those real-life data applications from the walls that we are setting up currently to really have very reliable numbers, but we are calculating with approximately 70% lower maintenance than your average green wall system.
Is it technically defensible, or can your competitors do a similar approach with the clay?
Yeah, actually we have 2 patents pending. We have developed quite an extensive IP roadmap there with our patenting lawyers in Munich, Grünecker. And so the modules are patent pending, and we have some more steps coming up there with the under construction and everything. Cool.
Excellent. All right.
Thank you very much.
Got one more pitch. One last one is called Tempty Foods. I was actually testing it right before this, so I'm really excited. And with that, from Denmark, Cecilia. Let's give her a hand.
Thank you. Where's the slides? Next. How do I do this? Let's go back. Let's try again.
Alrighty, I'm ready. Hi everyone, my name is Cecilia, and I come from Tempty Foods, a food product of the future based on mycelium. The problem we're solving is a lack of healthy, tasty, and diverse protein-rich alternatives. In fact, meat replacements are often perceived as too processed or unhealthy by consumers, while products like tofu as tasteless and difficult to prepare. What is more, everything is based on soy or pea. Our solution is a new alternative to products like tofu or meat, but without mimicking meat. On top of it, it's based on mycelium, which is a protein-rich ingredient produced by fungi, which is both highly nutritious, but also more sustainable than, for instance, soy. Our products are pre-seasoned and ready to be cooked. Every year, there are over 100 billion meals eaten by people in Europe who are trying to reduce their meat intake. And our target market, which are vegetarians and vegans in the Nordics and Germany, and if they eat our product only once a month, that equals to over 132 million meals a year. Oh, let's go one back. Right now, we're focusing on increasing brand awareness through a crowdfunding campaign where we already raised our goal. Next step is to collaborate with meal box companies in order to present our product in defined recipes to customers. Next up, we plan to scale through supermarkets. Our business model is based on getting mycelium and other ingredients from suppliers while making our final product in our production facility and selling to customers. Right now, we've raised over 12,000 euros by winning accelerators and competitions and sold for more than 1,000 euros. Additionally, we have more than 200 customers waiting for our product. Within the next 6 months, we plan to set up a production and launch our product on the market. And this is the team. We are Anna, Cecilia, and Martina, and we have all the relevant skills to bring this product to the market. Thank you for listening. And now we'll serve a small sample of our product to the jury.
You know, a great bribe already. You mentioned that you're both going B2C and B2B. Maybe you can speak a little bit about like what you think is more promising in the beginning and how you, like if say you go like B2B, how do you still, you know, create a high awareness for the consumer around your brand versus other alternative meat replacements?
Sure. So since we are creating a new type of product that is not mimicking meat, it's difficult for consumers to imagine how to use it in their meals. That's why we're going first B2B, to have the B2B companies like meal box companies, meal kit companies, introduce the product as part of defined recipes so consumers learn how to use the product. And then it will be available in supermarkets. You ask also about how are we going to increase the awareness, and that's what we're working on right now. For example, through the crowdfunding campaign, through press releases, social media, going to events, presenting the product at the events. Sure. But long term, of course, B2B2C, so supermarkets, but B2B is in between, like introduction. Yeah.
How are you producing it, and how complex is the production process?
So the process is quite simple, as we receive the mycelium from the supplier and we prepare the ingredients. So basically that's all we say. But yeah, it's quite simple process. So I'm the one who's like preparing it usually, and that's kind of like what is the transition stage for B2B, like where we are starting, that I would be the one making it.
Maybe one thing to add to it, so we're trying to keep it as simple as possible to be able to scale. We, of course, don't try to talk about it in details because that's right now what our competitors and other companies would like to know, so we cannot talk in details about the production, unfortunately, sorry.
And is there anything you can protect about the
Yeah, so we have, so far we have filed for a trademark, and we've been also looking with European patent attorneys into potential of patentability of certain things within the product, and there is some potential that we will be filing for.
Yeah. Maybe you can tell us a bit more about how long it takes to produce a certain amount, right? Because you don't want to display the process, but maybe that?
So, for instance, like how we were calculating to produce, like depending on the equipment. For instance, like for this like stage B2B, if it's 20 kilos per day or 30, that's what we said. Like so, it would be 3 batches. One batch would take maybe first one longer, so it would be like 4 hours. But then each batch later takes less.
Hours, not weeks or months.
No hours.
No.
Okay.
The thing is about the mycelium, you can produce it within a few days. So the mycelium itself is our suppliers use approximately 1 week from starting with the culture until they send the product to us. So. Thank you for your time.